met a man who said he'd learned to fly. I met a lot more with broken wings. Hey, I've been around a little bit, and I learned a couple of things. Well, I used to have a lot to tell everybody. Now I hardly make a sound.
Hi, welcome to episode 5. We're right in the heart, right in the middle, right in the core of explaining the argument for the existence of God based on the scientific evidence provided by the issue of origin of life. Again, I'd like to remind you, to gain the full benefits from these presentations, it's worthwhile to watch it in order. They really are designed that way. In any case, we are right now ready to ask the question, what about the incredible levels of functional complexity and specified information that we find in the living world? Wouldn't it be reasonable to conclude at this point that they are also the result of an intelligent act of creation? And the truth is, for a very large portion of human history, this was considered to be an eminently reasonable conclusion. What exactly is this point of contention that caused this ideological, intellectual divorce between believer and non-believer? And the answer is, it is not because of a disagreement about the truth of the argument from design, as I've presented it in earlier segments. Remember, there is no one in their right mind who doesn't agree that suits, poems, and watches do not make themselves. There is no one who disagrees about the fundamental laws of physics and mathematical probability that are the underpinnings of that assertion. And there is no one who disagrees about the extraordinary levels of functional complexity and sophistication in the living world. Well, where then do we disagree? And the answer is that the atheist claims that for a very unique and very specific reason, the argument from design cannot be applied to the world of living systems. It cannot be applied to the world of biology. Why? Because the claim is that scientists have amazingly enough discovered a naturalistic process that actually creates the illusion of design, that mimics design. Richard Dawkins, perhaps the leading figure in modern atheism, the grand old man of modern atheism, if you will, writes the following, quote, "Biology is the study of complicated things that give the appearance of having been designed for a purpose," end of quote. Another statement by Richard Dawkins, quote, "Charles Darwin discovered a way in which the unaided laws of physics could, in the fullness of geological time, come to mimic design," end of quote. Amazing. Dawkins himself calls this discovery totally counterintuitive. A natural, unguided process that can mimic design? Unbelievable. Dr. Jerry Coyne, a zealous advocate of atheism, professor of evolutionary biology at the University of Chicago, a prestigious position at a prestigious university. This is, if I'm not mistaken, from the very first paragraph of his book, Why Evolution is True. Quote, "If anything is true about nature, it is that plants and animals seem intricately and almost perfectly designed for living their lives. Squids and flatfish change color and pattern to blend in with their surroundings. Bats have radar to home in on insects at night. Hummingbirds are far more agile than any human helicopter. What does all this seem to imply? A master mechanic, of course," end of quote. Of course, a master mechanic, a master builder, a master designer. That would be the obvious reaction, except for Darwin and evolution. Dr. Lawrence Krauss, physicist, Arizona State University, another zealous advocate of atheism, quote, The illusion of purpose and design is perhaps the most pervasive illusion about nature that science must confront on a daily basis. Everywhere we look, it appears that the world was designed so that we could flourish. End of quote. Dr. Francisco Ayala, world-renowned biologist and philosopher of science, the name of an article that he wrote for the National Academy of Sciences, quote, Darwin's greatest discovery, design without designer, end of quote. Amazing. A design without a designer. Dr. Francis Crick, one of the greatest scientific minds of the 20th century, Nobel Prize winner, co-discoverer of the structure of DNA, quote, biologists must constantly keep in mind that what they see is not designed, but rather evolved, end of quote. Why do they have to constantly keep it in mind? Because the obvious reaction is that it's designed. No. It was evolved. And finally, from the Wyss Institute at Harvard University. No, I didn't say the Wyss Institute. I said the Wyss Institute. The Wyss Institute is something else. This is from their homepage. Quote, the Wyss Institute for Biologically Inspired Engineering uses nature's design principles to develop bio-inspired materials and devices that will transform medicine and create a more sustainable world. The Wyss Institute aims to discover the engineering principles that nature uses to build living things, end of quote. Now, they're not talking about God, obviously. They're talking about Darwinian evolution. Darwinian evolution designs, uses engineering principles, builds living things. Amazing. In other words, this blind process called Darwinian evolution creates what looks like sophisticated design systems in the living world. And hence, the name of Richard Dawkins' best-selling book about evolution, The Blind Watchmaker. We've been talking about watches, etc. The Blind Watchmaker. Unbelievable. Well, what is my response as a theist? And as I said it in the first episode, I believe I said it in the second episode also, I see no reason at all to get involved in the argument about Darwinian evolution. And therefore, for argument's sake, and for argument's sake only, I do not want to be disingenuous. I do not accept Darwinian theory. I don't think the evidence is really there. But we're leaving that totally aside. For argument's sake, I'm fully prepared to concede the truth of Darwinian theory. We will accept Darwinian theory as a scientific truth. One could conclude, at least, that the acceptance, with the acceptance of Darwinian evolution, that's the end of the discussion about the existence of God the Creator, or at the very least, the end of the discussion about scientific evidence for the existence of God the Creator. And that's a mistake, because accepting Darwinian evolution is just the beginning of the discussion about the existence of God the Creator. It's just the beginning of the discussion of the scientific evidence for the existence of God the Creator. Because what we're going to demonstrate in the coming segments, in the coming episodes, is that Darwinian evolution, and make no mistake about it, which is the absolute foundation stone upon which rests all intellectually rigorous, or certainly any science-based atheistic worldview, has no relevance whatsoever to this discussion. We're going to demonstrate that Darwinian evolution provides in actuality nothing more than an illusion of scientific credibility for atheism. How so? Well, stay tuned. We'll get into that in episode 6. Take care. Have a wonderful day. God bless you all.
I met a man who said he'd learned to fly. I met a lot more with broken wings. Hey, I've been around a little bit, and I learned a couple of things. Well, I used to have a lot, tell everybody. Now I hardly make a sound. 'Cause you see my head was lost in the clouds, my feet were stuck on the ground. My friends and I don't talk much about our dreams these days, 'cause dreams don't haunt you like a ghost. Seems like most people, when they tell you to grow up, but they really